Good morning, everyone. It's 15 minutes after 7 a.m. my time in Ohio. Thought I'd get an early start today because I got a busy day. I got to go do clothes and so forth. But I wanted to talk to you today about growing up, how I had to grow up, and how my siblings had to grow up. Now, um, my time, well, I'll just see. I'm 3.5 years uh, older than what uh, my sister was. Start over again, Joy. I had a different father than my siblings did, and I uh, was 3.5 years already on this earth when my stepfather's kids started coming. So I uh, we were raised in this. Well, I don't know what all was wrong with it, but it looked like it was a well-built home, but on the outside it wasn't painted or anything like that. And we lived outside of the city limits, um, 3 miles, about 3 miles away from the city, a little village. And as time went over time, we had to have lived there. Geez, how many years? I was 4 when we moved there, and my sister, which was born 3.5 years after I was born, so she was just a small baby, and so it was just it was just me, my little sister, and mom, and then of course her husband, my stepdad. So um, and I don't know much about whether he worked or anything like that, but he was always gone. He was either out drinking and carrying on, or in prison. And when he was in prison, well, um, mom then had to take over and provide for us. So I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna, for this concept of my video, I'm just gonna put him out of the picture. When mom was taking care of us, she got $115 a month to take care of us, or to because, and the money was, what was it called, ADC, something like that, I think so. And of course they didn't have food stamps back then. And we uh, wintertime we heated by coal. It was a coal stove. So out of that $115, and she was a smoker, out of that $115, she had to buy coal for the wintertime. Now, summertime, that we didn't uh, heat that way because it was hot in the summertime. And but she provided for us with $115. Boy, my nose. Every time I start doing these videos, my nose starts itching. Now where was I? $115 a month. We didn't have to pay rent because we owned the house. Um, and, I swear that house was haunted. It brought me nightmares beyond belief. It was like, uh, those are stories for another time. But $115 a month, and of course, groceries wasn't as much as they are today. A loaf of bread was 10 cents, but mom did the best that she could with us, and the electric was I don't know how much the electric bill was at that point in time, but that's basically all we had was electric and coal, and our water was a cistern coming from a spring across the road, and that was my job, was to carry water in. Until one day, somebody got the bright idea to put one of them hand pumps inside the house, running from the cistern to inside the house. So we had spring water inside the house, but we had to use a pump, and it was naturally cold. So uh, we had electric stove, and if we needed wanted hot water, we had to heat it on top of the stove. There was no inside bathroom. It was um, outhouse, and we had a inside. Well, they call it a pot. God, that in itself is humiliating to know what we have today as opposed to what we had back then. Now the wealthier people had indoor bathrooms and bathtubs and so forth and so forth, and but we didn't. And I was the chief pot emptier. Because I was the oldest, naturally. The oldest always had to do everything. So, but the having to empty that every day, I'd make sure I get out the back door and the there was it felt like it was 100 miles long, but I'd get out there and make sure there wasn't no traffic coming. Now we lived outside of town, 3 miles or so, and there was traffic that went up and down there to get between one town to the next town and so forth. Um, but I'd make sure there wasn't nobody coming. I'd get a whole black pot and off to the outhouse and dump it. And then leave it out there, or no, maybe didn't, maybe I don't know. I can't remember what was done with it, whether we had to leave it outside and air out all day or what. I don't know, but anyway, that was compared to today, that was a horrendous time to live. And sometimes mom didn't have enough money to pay the electricity, and we would have to use oil lamps for light, and and as far as food goes, we would once in a while we'd get bologna and potatoes and green beans and sometimes eggs if somebody brought us some eggs. Um, Summertime now we'd go. I mean, when there was nothing to eat, we would go out behind it. We had woods behind us, and we'd go blackberry hunting. And mom would have sugar and canned milk, and that's mom would come home. We'd get back to the house after picking the berries, and mom would divide it all up in all 6 bowls. No, no, wasn't. It was only the baby couldn't eat that kind of stuff, so it was just 5 bowls. Of course, the baby drank milk, and they didn't have formula or anything back then. So that would be our meal for the day. Wintertime now, that was I was a cold, drafty house, and we all had bedrooms. There was an upstairs. I can't remember how many bedrooms there was upstairs. Let's see, one, two, only two bedrooms, and us kids all had one bedroom, and then um, mom had the other bedroom. But there was a kitchen downstairs. I think I can't now kitchen. There was 3 rooms downstairs. So come wintertime though, our beds were put down by the coal fire in the wintertime, and so we could stay warmer. But yeah, $115 a month is what my mom had to uh, take care of us with. Now, um, when the deep snow hit, man, I'll tell you what, I I felt like this little teeny midget walking down the path, down the driveway or whatever to um, get. And we didn't have toilet paper back then either. Leastwise, we didn't. If they did at that point in time, then we didn't have toilet paper. We had to use rags. So, yeah, mom was a smoker. She drank coffee. So, in order for her to stay sane, naturally, she had uh, to have some of that. But I, $115. I mean, things were cheap back then, but that's not going to go an awful long way for 6 people. A baby that needed milk, and so I sit and think back about that, um, and wonder what went through mom's mind. I mean, I know she had to worry because that's all they knew, to worry. You know, they didn't know how to use the gifts that the Creator put in us and stuff like that. So, um, but you know, I'm going to make this a 2-part series. So I'm going to sign off here now, and so if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. And a merry heart doeth good like medicine, but a broken spirit will dry up your bones. So we'll talk to you later.